Hello, today is the second day of November 2012. Welcome to tonight's video, and I want to go over an interesting comment from Rocky315W, which is this one, a reply to it, his reply back, and then of course this one up top as well. So let's get started. I'm going to read the first sentence, answer that, and I'll do that throughout a lot of these, is just read a sentence, answer the question, or reply to the comment. If these charts are so good, then why stop at where they are, continue them, and show us where it is going? And it's all about the game and how you play it and how the game is played. That's not how I play the game. That's, to me, not how the game is played as well. For the game of predicting future events is really what it all comes down to, or what it all boils down to. And if I want to know where it's going to go, say keep on going and going and going, then I'll use a longer term chart, because if I'm trying to say it's going to do this, then that, then that, then that, then that, and so on, then I'm going for a multiple parlay, and that's just a losing strategy every single time. So I'll throw that away, but instead of, say, if you want to know what, like, say, the next year or two is going to look at, then let's look at a quarterly or half-year chart. That would probably be the best way of doing it. Okay, so with that being said, let's continue on. All you guys talk about is the past, and you can join any dots you please, but what good is that? You can't change the past. Just show us all your knowledge and continue the charts into the future, then we can see if the charts are worth anything. It's up to you if they are worth anything, because it doesn't sound like they are for yourself, and that's fine, because with some people they are. I've seen a lot of great comments, and I even know what the results, at least on silver and some other things, are, because I see it. There's a lot of times I'll even come on here and say, okay, this is what I'm looking at, and I'm probably not going to look at it again. But I'm giving ideas. If one wants to look at it, well, it's up to them, so they better know what they're doing. Because I said in one of my last videos, if you don't know the risk-reward, you shouldn't be playing the game. That's plain and simple. Now, a lot of times I'll show these videos as far as the physical bullion standpoint is concerned. It gives me a reason to educate, or at least remind people how that of a fiat debt note is created and why it's guaranteed to cause the formalities that we have on this planet that are not so pleasurable, we'll say. And that's another big reason why I like to do it too. Okay, continue on. If they don't show you in your history of charts where they continue, you should be able to continue them for some time in the future. Again, that's not how it plays, because one thing I talk about too, and this isn't even my idea. This is someone else says it. Brian Shannon will say, and I'll say it as well. You just adjust to the message of the market, because you're going to be wrong times. And okay, so this happened instead of this. So what does that mean? Is something you need to say to yourself. Okay. Moving on, Ruckus Syndicate replied with, "Are you serious? In short, you were asking for someone to see the future. With charts, all we can do is make educated guess on possible outcomes. So the solution for you is very easy. Stop clicking on these videos and go out and get a crystal ball or time machine." Maybe a DeLorean? But yeah, okay. Yes, that's all it is. It's educated guesses on possible outcomes. For example, if I'm going to be getting 2-to-1 odds to predict whether a random playing card is going to be a spade rather than a club, heart, or diamond, then I'm doing pretty poor, because I got a 3-in-1 shot at winning. So you're basically looking for pot odds to go in your favor. Moving on. This is exactly what I'm saying. Why would you watch these if you agree it's impossible to predict the future? So you can agree with anything that you want. You can agree that if you throw a tennis ball way up in the air, it's going to not go in the air, meaning it's going to fall flat on its ground. Or if I drop a pen, it's going to go way up in the air. You can agree that that's going to be the case, but it's not going to happen. I can tell you right now that it is not impossible to predict the future. Thus, it is possible to predict the future. It depends on what you want to try to predict. Again, I can predict that if I put a pizza pie in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes, that it's going to come out a lot warmer, the cheese will be melted, and it might taste really good. That's a prediction that I can make. It's an easy one. I predict that the sun will go down at a certain time, or it will get cold in December in the northern hemisphere. Easy predictions. Anyway, I want to go on now to some older charts and just show you that it's not that hard to predict the future. For example, this was a shot to buy and cover. You can check my older videos. You will see a lot of times I'll predict something to occur, and a lot of times I'm right. Here's a spot where I say buy. Now, if you played short term, you won. If you played midterm, then you should have probably still won anyway. Again, you stayed a short here. Why would I say short at this level? Because of the market action. It's in this declining to sideways band. It made this high, but it just went sideways, and there's your confirmation that's breaking down below the support. You can expect this thing to go down to where it did. Very simple play. Buy here. Again, if you buy at the very bottom, it just booms up higher. I don't care if you're playing midterm or short term, you're going to do well in this spot. Because even if you're trying to sell here, at least you can get out at, say, 30.5 and get a % gain or something. But with that being said, if, say, for example, someone was ready to buy in here, and I'm like, okay, it's just going to test 30 at some point. I'm just going to wait now until it hits 30. Well, they could have bought at 31.20, but then they did wait, and it hit 30. Now, of course, that would have been very difficult to get at because they would have had to been right then and there. But if they happen to be there then, oh, so now they're buying at $1.50 less. It worked out on that scenario. Let's continue on further. On this month, I expected a $30 test by the end of September due to how well the 18 average was moving and holding through. Well, it happened much earlier than that, but that was, again, something I'm just using probability odds. I see this pattern of consistent higher lows after it was in this downtrend, and I like how it's been holding up against this resistance, and sure enough, it did do that. I think myself, if I'm looking at a play like this, there's no clear time yet to play, but if you see this at this point, well, it should do it by the end of September. That's just something I'll pick it at my top of my head. Okay, we're August the 17th. Okay, so within the next month and a half, there's a decent chance it's going to move up to here. Maybe you want to play an option of some sort. Again, how you play the game is up to you. And I don't know how people are playing the game 20 different ways or whatever. So I just can't tell each person, okay, this is how you should do it. This is how you should do it. That would be irresponsible for me to do that. Moving on. On this day, and this day was August the 31st, price action rose from 30.27 to 31.21 during a coffee break. Look how fast this was moving up. Okay, so you're waiting for the message of the market. Okay, you're waiting to play. Maybe you shorted here. Let's just say you should. That's fine. You short here. Oh, SHIT. You're out. You stopped. Okay, so you lose, and that's fine. And I can be honest with you. I would have played the short in this spot had I been playing that game at that time. That's just what I do. And I would have seen, okay, wait a second. So this market momentum is telling me that things are really going on. This is where you really do need volume if you want to be an elite trader. I'll give you that. But with that being said, I see this thing going up and up and up. I'm not going to chase this thing on the way up. Rather, I'm going to wait for a correction. And okay, this is the third red candle in a row. I know the math. I know this number divided by this number to the power of 0.618. Multiply this number again. Just happens to work out to 30.84, which is where I'm buying. And buying there meant a close that day at 31.72 or 88 cents higher from the level that you got in. Profitable. Moving on. On this day is September the 14th. Further extension seems highly probable. Highly. This was such an amazing day to play. For this candle, this was the morning. This is 9:35 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm expecting that day to go up higher. The target was like well over 36, so a gain of like $1.50 plus. However, it didn't do that. It pretty much went going sideways. So you knew as this thing was going on, wait a second here, this isn't playing out as I expected. Adjust the message of the market is all you got to do here. All right. So on this day, and this day was October the 19th, it was clear that 31.52 would be tested. There was a gain available for $1 or 3%, and this was a winning bet. So I'm looking at the charts now. I knew here, I didn't know if this level was going to be support or resistance in here. Well, I found out it was resistance right at this point. I knew that. So what was the next day? Okay, first of all, before I do that, this is where the target is. You place a stop above there. Notice that it hit the bottom perfectly. There, and you're done. Shorts are covered. Long positions now get entered. There's a lot of traders out there, a lot of professional traders who will totally state you can't buy here. And that's fine. Everyone's got a different way of playing the game, but it's all in the same general form. But anyway, when you see this, you can see the bottom was another situation where it hit right on again. It does this a lot. As long as the Fibonacci retracement keeps playing this reliable, I'm going to still stick with it. Anyway, on this day, and this day is today, support shows to be breaking, sort of like I showed just a few charts ago where 30 was going to come in, or right here, yeah, but it shows exactly the same as I'm showing right here. Exact same formation. I've seen that they had this little fake breakout up to this 18 declining average, to the 18 average highs. It didn't hold the 18 average lows, nor did it hold the 61.8% from this low to this high. You can just tell just by looking right around here. So you know that, okay, this thing is headed for more downside. Now, longs here that played at 31.50 did great, as long as it was short term, because you are playing the 2-minute, 5-minute time frame, but you're playing multiple time frame analysis. You see that on this time frame that we should have support here. So therefore, you're waiting and you're seeing that move to 31.50. You push the long button, and oh my, it goes higher. Who would have thunk that? And if you're playing for midterm, you're not looking to sell 32 and change. No. You're looking to go 33, 34, 35, maybe even up to 37. But that didn't happen. So I'm hoping that many people would get out for an even play or even a small gain, because if you buy at 31.50, you shouldn't be in on this candle here if it's at 31.60. It's, to me, just stupid. And this is the final daily chart for today. This is how it looks. So it continued to go lower, and I would continue it again to go lower. Now, one of my methodologies would be wait for this thing to go up to resistance at 31.52, go short, place a stop maybe above this line, play for a target down to here, and that's the way you play. I know my risk is about, well, I'd be getting it at 31.52. We'll say stopping it at 32.82, or let's even say 33. So that'd be $1.50 of a risk. But I want to play to 30, which would be about $1.50 of a risk. You'd have to win about 65-70% of the time. I personally wouldn't do that. If I were to play it, I'd already be in. When I made my video this morning, that's when you would go short, basically. Plain and simple. And finally, let's take a look at this on the weekly chart. I have my drawing tool within this, so I can draw stuff like little trend lines, and I will be talking about this trend line in here. But with that being said, back in the day, when we hit 38.11, there was this level here from this point to this point stated that we should have support here. But it didn't occur. If you look back on my old video, you will see I will have said, awesome time to buy. However, if support is not found at this level, you can expect a fast move to here, which occurred. Now, when you look at this, I was using emotion that day. I could explain, then you're not supposed to when you play this game. The emotion was like, oh, I mean, what good is 26 or 32 going to be? Because, I mean, 38 wasn't support, so why is 32 going to be support? And it was. And then, of course, it came right to this line, plays done. Now, I can say again, oh, do I do it again here? Well, I'd say no, but it would have worked out. Oh, do I short here? No, wait. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. And that's what a lot of this actually is. So even though this looks like it was an easy play to go long here, no. If you did, congratulations, but I wouldn't have done it. Let's move on further again. You see stuff like this and this. You see how this Route 68 one area doesn't hold? Well, when you're down here, good shot that you'd be breaking below, and it did. So let's just get past all that. Look at where it is now. You got this trend line, like that. something of that nature. If this trend line goes, if we have a break of anything below this trend line, it's not going to be good. If there's a situation where it makes a lower low, it's not going to be good. Right now, this is still the higher low, and it can only be a higher low to a certain degree. Once it gets below here, you don't want a higher low that deep, because the more often you stay within the range, then you're in a situation where you could easily break through this and have that move I've been talking about for over a year now. And again, boom, have the move up here. It would be looking super bullish. So that's why if you see something like that, a lot of cautious signals would have to be coming into play. You can say all you want about how great it is to be buying at these levels, and quite frankly, a lot of your buys should be after pullbacks, especially if you know how this game is played. But if you do know how it's played and you want to wait for those major levels, the break of this is extremely large. I still don't think it's going to happen, but I do know that it is possible for that event to occur. Okay, that'll be it.